Hello, it's me again, Elaoje, and I promised to take you through my insights on reading the Bible cover to cover. Today is actually day 15, and we just concluded with Genesis. Um, so right now, I would just want to do a roundup on Joseph. So this video is particularly going to be focusing on Joseph. What are my thoughts about Joseph? Um, Reading the Bible this time around, I noticed a lot of things that are not very obvious about Joseph, and I think I would like to share. Please do well to listen and share your comments on the comment section. And if you have not subscribed, please do subscribe. Also, if you like what I'm sharing, please do share also share the video so that others will be blessed as you have. So Joseph is a really interesting character in the Bible, and he was strategically, I believe that he was strategically positioned um, where he was for a purpose. Yeah, so his birth warranted a lot of strife um, with his elder brothers because he was born by the one his father loved the most. So even though the Bible pointed out that he was loved because he was a child of his old age, and he was the last born at the time, the brothers seem to believe that he was loved simply because he was the son of Rachel, who was the beloved. And because of that, they decided to get rid of him. Now, I have an issue with the fact that people often tend to you know make assumptions of other people's reactions or attitudes generally. So, and it has really caused a lot of damage to relationships. People will just assume, oh, she's doing that because she feels this way about me. She's doing this because this is what is in her mind. No, I don't think we should make assumptions and act based on assumptions we feel is convenient for us, because that may not always be the case. We should try to check our facts. Second check. Check with somebody else. Ask somebody, this is how I'm feeling. Is this feeling correct? Is it true that this person may have this kind of attitude, so that you don't just go as making assumptions, and then at the end of the day those assumptions are not correct. That is one. And another thing I noticed was Joseph um, ended up being so hurt, by being betrayed by his brothers. And after he got to Egypt, and God blessed him, and rose him, took him to a place where he never expected. Or should I say, yeah, he probably saw it coming, but he had gone through a lot. But even after God settled him, he was still hurt. So much so that he had his firstborn, and he named him Manasseh, meaning God has caused me to forget my family. So he had deliberately actually wanted to forget his family. One would imagine after he had made it to the top, he would want to find out what happened to his father, if his brothers were still there, just for knowing sake, because he wasn't a slave any longer, and the place where his family was a travel distance. If his brothers came to get grains from Egypt and went back, then you would know that if he really wanted to, he would have gone to find out what happened with his father or his younger brother. but he didn't. He wanted to forget his family, which is a clear indication that he was hurt, and he was still suffering from the hurt that he went through. So much so that when his brothers came, he kept going back and forth to cry cry and come back, cry and come back. And with that, I would want to say that, Joseph was really a man filled with the Spirit of God and led by the Spirit. But he did not allow himself to heal of the hurt that was caused by his brothers. He did not allow himself to heal. And I would want to say, no matter how Spirit-filled you are, no matter how anointed you are, there are places where you should ask for more grace. Places like if you've been hurt, don't allow it overwhelm you so much so that you remain in that place of hurt. You should deal with it, deal with issues. There's no issue too small not to deal with immediately. Let us deal with issues so that they do not overcome us and prevent us from living life to the fullest. Having said that, I would also want to point out that in God's plan, we all have a part to play. And the part Joseph had to play in the plan, or in God's plan, was he was the instrument God used to bring the children of Israel to bondage. As negative as that sounds, we find that Joseph lived a life that was worthy of commendation. He did not commit sin. He lived a holy life. He was full of integrity, and he was full of wisdom, and he was filled with the power of God. And still, he was used as an instrument to bring the children of Israel to bondage. So we see that he even if he lived a godly and a perfect life, he was an instrument of negativity. But whereas we find someone like Judas, being very imperfect as he was used as an instrument to bring salvation by, getting Jesus to the cross. Okay, so if we look at the ultimate goal and purpose of the role that Judas played, we will thank God that he did it. But then again, the Bible says that the Son of Man had to die, but woe unto the man whose hand he dies by. So yes, in all this, what I see is God is going to definitely do what he will, and his plans for us, we know, are of good and not of evil. And we will definitely be used of God in different ramifications. But regardless of the macro will of God, in economics we have micro and macro. So in the big picture, regardless of the big picture of the role you're playing, we should make sure that our individual life, that is micro now, our lives, we do not err, we do not commit sin, we stand right with God at all points in time. We should make sure that we are right with God. We are not indulged in sin in any way, regardless of the role you're playing, or the role God is using you to fulfill. We should make sure that we are always right with God. If we look at the life of Joseph, we cannot fault him in any aspect of his life. But his position in the salvation plan or salvation story as a whole was to bring the children of Israel to captivity, which was a negative one. So my prayer for you today is that regardless of what role God is using you to play in the world at large, you would be conscious enough and be led by the Spirit enough not to go against his will and to live a holy and a perfect life. So that is what I noticed in the life of Joseph. I thank you for listening. Please drop your comments once again and share the video as much as you can. My name again is Ella Oje, and I am reading the Bible from cover to cover, and these are just my insights. Thank you. Bye-bye.